Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission, as always, is pretty simple. We take your complex sources, unpack them, and turn them into insights you can actually use. Today, we're doing a really crucial deep dive for, well, anyone working internationally. It's about using English strategically, not just talking, but really advancing your career.
That's exactly it. We're going, beyond just basic grammar. We're looking at how English works in the professional world, the kind of communication that builds confidence, opens doors. Think of this deep dive as a shortcut, really, getting you up to speed on navigating professional English for success. We'll hit 3 key areas: the interview, daily work life, and networking.
Okay, let's unpack this. So diving right into stage 1, the job interview. High stakes, every word counts. Our sources really hammered home one thing: preparation is everything.
Absolutely. Preparation. It's not about having perfect, complex sentences. It's about being ready. Interviews make people nervous, right? That's normal. But being prepared, practicing your answers in English till they feel natural, that's your defense. And the focus, simplicity and structure, not showing off vocabulary.
Right. And that first big question always comes up. Tell me about yourself. Seems easy, but it's a key moment.
It really sets the tone. The advice here is about being concise, professional, and finding a genuine positive connection. So state your name, your current job, basically, and then add just one thing you actually like about your work. For example, I manage logistics, and I genuinely enjoy solving tricky problems for clients. Something like that.
I like that focus on simplicity. Keeps you from rambling, giving your whole life story. Was there any, practical tip for practicing that intro?
Yeah, a really basic one. Rehearse it in the mirror. Smile. Just say it. Hello, my name is X. I have 5 years in Y. Practice that delivery. Repeating it makes it almost automatic, so you're less likely to stumble under pressure.
Okay, so get the intro down cold. Then we move to maybe the trickier questions, like, why do you want this job?
Yes. This is where you show you've done your homework. You show intent. The guidance emphasizes positive, specific feedback about them, the employer. Could be broad, like, I really respect your company's mission. Or quite specific, I was impressed by the design of your latest product.
I remember reading something about noticing small details too, like even complimenting the office coffee. Seems small, but it shows you're observant.
It can. It shows you're paying attention, you're interested in the whole picture, the culture, makes you memorable. But crucially, beyond saying nice things about them, you have to talk about your strengths, your personal strengths. What are you good at? Analysis, writing, talking to people. Use simple phrases. I'm good at X, or my strength is Y. Connect your skills directly to what they need for the job.
That's smart. But what about those behavioral questions? The tell me about a time when questions. They can feel really complicated to answer well in another language.
They can. And structure is your friend here. You might have heard of the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Our sources suggest simplifying that even further. Think 3 clear sentences. First, what was the problem? The situation. Second, what did you specifically do? The action. Third, what was the good outcome? The result.
So you avoid getting lost in details. Just problem, my action, positive result. 3 key things.
Exactly. Structure gives clarity. And clarity sounds credible, especially in professional settings. Oh, and don't forget the nonverbals. Eye contact. Smiling, even a little bit. It projects confidence, warmth.
Good point. Which brings us to wrapping up the interview, leaving that final good impression.
Yes, the ending needs to be clear and polite. A simple, firm thank you for your time. Combine that with professional handshake or, a confident wave if it's online. You've done your part, left a structured, positive mark.
Okay, so we've nailed the interview, hopefully. Now let's shift. You got the job. How do you succeed day to day? Talking with colleagues, managers?
Right, the focus shifts now. It's less about selling yourself, more about building and maintaining that professional reputation. And the main principle, it's pretty straightforward. Be friendly, be polite. Consistently, your daily interactions, how you speak English every day, that builds your professional image.
And it starts right away, doesn't it? Those simple greetings. Good morning. Hello, how are you? Small talk, but it opens the door.
It does. But the real test often comes when there's a problem or when you need help. Maybe your computer freezes or you need information. Now, in English, especially professional English, being too direct can sound, rude, even if you don't mean it to.
That's a really important point, that cultural nuance. You can't just say, I need help now.
Exactly. That's where what we call hedging language comes in, polite framing. So instead of, my computer's broken, fix it, you try something like, excuse me, I seem to be having a little trouble with my computer. Could you possibly help me when you have a moment, please?
That difference is huge. Could you possibly? Adding please. It turns a demand into a request. Shows respect for their time.
Absolutely. And that leads us straight to the magic words the source mentioned, please and thank you. Using them constantly, almost automatically, it just softens everything. It's like oil in the machine, makes workplace relationships run smoothly.
Okay, what about talking to the boss? To supervisors? The advice was clear. Keep it formal, right?
Yes, especially at the beginning. Using titles, "Good morning, Mr. Smith," or "Good morning, Miss Davis." It shows respect for their role. Standard professional courtesy.
But relationships change over time. Does that formality ever relax?
Usually, yes. But the key thing is the manager typically leads that change. They might say, "Oh, please, just call me David." Until they give that clear signal, sticking with the formal address is the safer, more professional bet. Avoids any awkwardness.
Okay. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
all this daily effort, the politeness, the clear communication, building that reputation, that's what leads to bigger things, right?
Precisely. This is the groundwork for a promotion. When you handle daily tasks, problems, and interactions with colleagues clearly, politely, competently, you're showing you have the skills for more responsibility. You're showing you could be, Manager Paul. You handle things well.
Consistency really is key.
Yeah.
Okay, one last shift. Let's talk about expanding your circle. Networking. Meeting new people, maybe at work events, parties, or a conference, which, is basically just a big meeting.
Right. And that first step, approaching someone new, can feel intimidating, especially if English isn't your first language. But the strategy is similar to the interview, actually. Start small, start structured.
Having that initial script ready helps a lot. Smile, say hello, introduce yourself clearly. Something like, "Hello, my name is X. I work at Y Company in the Z department." Simple, direct.
Perfect. And then the crucial next step, turn the focus onto them. Ask questions. Early networking is really about listening, gathering information. So open questions are great. What do you do? What brings you here today?
Makes sense. People generally like talking about themselves, right?
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off you. But how do you show you're actually listening? Using those small English cues.
Yeah, simple affirmations work wonders. Don't just nod. Say things like, "Oh, that's interesting," and then maybe follow up with a related question. How did you get into that field? Small things, but they signal active listening. Shows you're engaged.
That's a great point. It's more than just being polite. It's showing genuine interest. Okay, so this whole process, meeting new work contacts, making connections, that's what we call networking.
That's it. And it's not just about chatting. It's about potentially creating an opportunity. The source material really stressed the final step, too. How you end the conversation and follow up.
The EGIS strategy. Often overlooked, but important. You want to end it smoothly.
Exactly. Close it professionally. Something like, "Well, it was really nice meeting you." Confirms the positive interaction. And if it makes sense, that's when you exchange contact info. A business card, maybe connect on LinkedIn. But don't just hand over a card. Pair it with a reason, a suggested next step.
Right. So not just, "Here's my info," but more like, "Please send me an email about that article you mentioned," or "Let's connect next week for a quick chat about X."
Yes, that makes it concrete. Turns a casual meeting into a potential professional relationship. You've used simple English skills to take a real step forward in your career.
So what does this all mean? We've looked at how using English strategically impacts your whole career journey.
Yeah, we've seen the keys are pretty consistent, aren't they? Structure your key messages. Practice the basics till they're second nature. Use that polite hedging language. Be consistently professional. If you apply even these simple tactics, it can really boost your confidence and seriously improve your professional opportunities.
It's the difference between just speaking English and actively using English to shape how people see you professionally. Our sources ended with a fun question, but it makes you think. It asked, "What's your job?" Or "What's your dream job?"
Right, and we had that great example, "I want to be a pizza taster," which led to the idea of Manager Paul, the pizza taster.
Exactly. So the challenge for you, listening now, you have the language tools, the strategies for interviews, daily work, networking. You can communicate with confidence. What's the next professional identity you're going to start building? Like manage your name, your dream job? What's one specific step you'll take tomorrow using maybe that hedging language or that three-part interview structure to actually move towards that dream job? That's where strategic language really makes a difference.
A great challenge to end on, puts the learning into action.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hey there, and welcome. We're about to jump into how simple, clear English can be your secret weapon for success at work. We're talking about everything from getting a great job to maybe even snagging that next big promotion. So let's get right into it.
So, this is the big question, right? How can English actually help you get a better job? Well, it's not just about knowing a bunch of words. It's about opening doors to new opportunities. The right kind of communication can make all the difference. So let's figure out how to make that happen for you.
Okay, first things first. Before you can be a star at your job, you've got to get the job. And it all begins with the interview. We're going to walk through some really simple, straightforward tips to help you go in there feeling confident. So, what even is an interview? Don't let the word scare you. At its heart, it's just a conversation. It's a chance for a potential boss to get to know you, and, just as important, for you to show them why you're the perfect fit for their team. A great interview can really be broken down into 4 pretty easy steps. You've got prepare your answers, dress the part, smile like you mean it, and always be polite. Let's take a closer look at each one.
Ah, yes, the classic opener. This question can feel huge, right? But the key is just to keep your answer short, sweet, and focused on your work. This is your very first chance to make a really strong impression.
And check this out. Here's the perfect template for that question. It's simple, it's direct, and it gives the interviewer exactly what they need to know. For instance, my name is Maria. I am a graphic designer. I like to create beautiful logos. See? Simple, professional, and you're done.
Now for the next big one, when they ask this, what they really want to know is if you've actually thought about the company and the job itself. Your answer here really shows how interested and motivated you are.
The goal here is pretty simple. Connect your skills to their company. Think of it like a puzzle. What the company needs, plus what you're great at, well, that equals a perfect match. You just have to show them how the pieces fit together.
Okay, what to wear? The rule for interview clothes is super simple. Dress to show you respect the opportunity. This doesn't always mean you need a fancy suit, but clean, professional clothes send a clear signal that you're taking this seriously. So maybe leave the pajamas at home for this one. And finally, the last step. These 5 little words are so important. It shows you're polite, you're professional, and it ends the whole meeting on a really positive and respectful note. You gotta remember this phrase. You did it. You got the job. Now the real fun begins. Let's move on to part 2 and talk about how your communication skills are going to be key to your success every single day at the office.
So you'll be spending a lot of your time with these people, your colleagues. A good way to think of them is as your work team or even your work friends. Building good relationships with them is absolutely key to enjoying your job.
And it all starts with the basics, you know? A simple good morning can make the whole office feel friendlier. And using a formal title like Mr. or Miss for your boss, well, that just shows respect. These tiny habits can make a huge difference.
Hey, everyone needs help sometimes, and it is totally okay to ask for it. The important part is how you ask. This phrase is just perfect. It's polite, it's clear, and it shows you respect your colleagues' time. When it comes to being polite and effective at work, there are 2 words that are basically more powerful than any others. They're like magic. And of course, they are please and thank you. Using them all the time doesn't just show you have good manners, it shows that you value your colleagues and their effort, which is absolutely essential for building a strong, happy team. So why does all this matter? Well, because being a great communicator and a positive person to work with is exactly how you get noticed. It's how you earn a promotion, that next big step up in your career. Okay, you're doing great in your job, but what about meeting people who aren't on your immediate team? This is where we get into making professional connections, or what a lot of people call networking. I know the word networking can sound kind of scary and formal, but it doesn't have to be. A much better way to think about it is just making new work friends. It's really just about building relationships that can help you learn and grow. You can approach networking with a super simple 4-step plan. Smile and say hi, ask an easy question, really listen to their answer, and then end the chat politely. Did you notice that listening is a critical step? Showing you're actually interested is the best way to make a real connection. The key here is to ask simple, open questions like, what do you do, that get the other person talking. As a general rule, people usually like sharing what they're passionate about, so a little bit of curiosity will go a very long way.
We've covered the interview, the office, and networking. Now, let's just bring it all together with a quick summary of the most important takeaways from all of this.
You know, when it comes right down to it, career success really depends on these 4 things.
Whether you're in an interview or just at a work party, being prepared and practicing your English gives you a great foundation. And from there, you can smile, show you're confident, and underpinning it all is just the simple, powerful act of being polite.
And that brings us to the end. We've gone over the tools and the phrases that can really help you succeed. So now the only question left is for you. What is your dream job? Go out there and use what you've learned to make it a reality. Thanks for joining me for this.